Okay, so this is question 2, and I just figured I'd draw it for you. So it's asking, or say, the question is, the bar graph shows the number of customers who shopped at a store Monday through Thursday of 1 week. If the number of customers on Friday was a 1/5 increase over the number of customers on Thursday, how many customers shopped at the store on Friday? So, first things first, I need to know what each of these represent. So Monday is 2. 2 what? 200 customers. And then we have Tuesday is between 2 and 3. So that's going to be a 2.5. Wednesday is 2. Thursday is 4. Now it's asking us if there was a Friday, what would it be? And it's also saying if the number of customers on Friday was a 1/5 increase over the number of customers on Thursday, what would it be? So we're only looking at this piece of information right here, this 4 on Thursday. So Friday will equal a 1/5 increase of Thursdays plus Thursday, because we don't just want 1/5 of Thursday, it's an increase of that number. So it's Thursday plus 1/5 of Thursday, right? So I'm now just going to substitute in that 4 where I see for Thursday, right? So Friday will equal 1/5 of 4 plus 4. Now to do this, you got lots of different ways. You either know it, or you can do this situation, 1/5 times, make this a fraction by putting it over 1, and then we just multiply across. And then don't forget your plus 4. So then 1 plus 4 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 1 is 5. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. And then we add 4, which will just give us 4 and 4/5. But remember, our answer choices are going to be in hundreds. So remember our bar graph over here, we have customers, number of customers in hundreds. So then we just multiply this times 100. But we might want to make it into a decimal first, at least I would. So 4/5, I know fifths go by 20ths, I guess, in a decimal format. So 4/20ths would be 80, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. So I know this is going to be 4.8, but I need it in 100. So times 100. Bum, bum, bum. Final result, 4.8 times 100. We get how many customers should there be if this is like the trend that we're expecting. We just multiply this number by that 100. We move over that decimal 1, 2 bumps because we have 2 zeros. That's a fun little trick. And we get 480 should be our answer. And that is answer choice A. I'm going to select, and do we get it? Correcto. Confirm. Correct. We did it. Next question. Un momento, por favor. Alright, question 3 of 10 is a word problem. Richard bought 3 slices of pizza. Of cheese pizza and 2 sodas for $8.75. So I'm going to put Richard is, or equals, 3 slices of pizza, and is a nice math word that we like to use for addition, 2 sodas for $8.75. Okay, equals $8.75. Okay, I'm going to put a nice little dollar sign here to remind me that that's what that means. So this is Richard. you know what? Instead of an equal sign, I'm going to put a nice arrow to show that. Jordan bought 2 slices of cheese pizza and 4 sodas for $8.50. How much would an order of 1 slice of pizza, 1 pizza, and 3 sodas cost? Question mark. Okay. So this is a beautiful example of like a system of equations question. So we're going to use these two to figure out what P and S equal individually. And then we can figure this out. So we have options. We can do a substitution method or we can do an elimination method. I'm not really sure what I'm going to choose yet, so let's just go for it. We don't really need to know Richard and Jordan at this point. We just need to know these equations. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this 2 turn into a 4 so I can eliminate that and solve for P. So I'm going to choose an elimination method. So what that looks like is 3P plus 2S equals 875. And then I'm going to rewrite, not quite, not yet. I'm going to put it down here, the second Jordan's equation. 2P, and I'll show you why in a second, plus 4S equals 8.50. Now, I need to get this 2 to equal that 4, and how I do that is I multiply it times 2. The thing is, this whole equation is one like entity, right? So I need to multiply the whole thing times 2. So that means I have to distribute now 2 times 3, 2 times 2, and 2 times $8.75. So that's going to equal, let's do a different color here. So 2 times 3 will give us 6P. 2 times 2, we're going to keep our addition here because nothing changed. 2 times 2 will equal 4S. And then this guy right here. So 8.75 times 2. Boop, boop. 14, 15. 16, 17. Okay. So 17 and 50 cents. $17.50. Now, this is nice because let's get a new color. That means at this point, I missed an important part. I need it to cancel out. And right now they're both positives, so I should have multiplied times -2. So, negative 6P minus 4, negative $17.50. All right, so now that we've fixed that, negative 4S and positive 4S will cancel each other out. Because at this point now, we're just combining these terms. So negative 6P and positive 2P are going to equal negative 4P. And then this over here, we have negative 17.5 and positive 8.5. So we're subtracting basically, but it's going to end up negative because our negative value is larger. So the 50s go away and we just get 17 minus 8. So we get 9. Negative 9. So negative 4P equals negative 9. We divide by negative 4 to get rid of that. But then what we do to one side of our equation, we must do to the other. Divide by negative 4. And then we'll be left with P equals 2 negatives divided by each other. Or negative divided by negative, better way to put that, is a positive. So 9 divided by 4. We end up with 2. Hold up. Just making sure my math is right. 9 divided by 4, you'll have 2 whole and then 1/4 left over. So 1 slice of pizza is, if we put it in decimal format for monies, we put 2.25. So one slice of pizza is $2.25. Now the question is asking us how much would an order of one slice of pizza and 3 sodas cost. So we haven't figured out sodas yet, but now comes the easier part because we just need to substitute $2.25 for P, right, in one of our equations and solve for S, and we'll go from there. So 225 that we just found, I'm going to choose which one of these is a little bit easier. Oh, you know what, let's go with 2P plus 4S. All right, so we have 2P, but instead of, you know what, let's just write it out. I'm going to write it out step by step for you. 2P plus 4S equals 8.50. Now I'm going to substitute the value I just found for P right here. Instead of P, I'm going to put 2.25, boop, plus 4S equals 8.50. Now I multiply 2 times 2.25. So we get 4.50 plus 4S equals 8.50. Now remember, I'm trying to get S by itself right now. I'm trying to isolate this guy. So to do that, I need to undo the other bits. So I'm going to subtract 450 from one side. But again, what I do to one side, I must do to the other. So minus 450. That's period. And then 850 minus 450, we get 4. This goes away. So now we have 4S. Make sure we have that box because that's what we want to keep isolated. Equals 4. And then we just divide. S. Okay, get S by itself. So we need to undo the multiplication, which is divide. Divide by 4. That goes away. What we do to one side, we gotta do to the other. Divide by 4. S equals 4 divided by 4 is 1. So now we know S and P values. We have S is 1, P is 2.25. That's not the question. The question is how much would an order of one slice of pizza and 3 sodas cost? But now we have our values. So we can plug in for this final step. So we know one piece of pizza is $2.25. And they want 3 sodas, and each soda we just found out is 1. We need to figure out what it is. So this is going to be very simple because anything times 1 is just that number, right? So we're just adding basically 3 plus 2.25, but let's do it all mathematically. Boop, boop. So we should have 5.25, boop. And that will be our answer, $5.25. Let's plug it in and see if that's correct. Hopefully. It should be. It was a lot of work, but we got it, and it's correct. Go us. Question 4. Oh, we have a dot plot. Wonderful. Give me a second to recreate it on my page. Okay, so this is the dot plot that we have. And it asks, or it says, the dot plot above identifies the number of pets living with each of 20 families in an apartment building. What fraction of the families have more than 2 pets? Okay. So if we counted all these dots, it should equal 20. You know me, I like to be a little bit extra cautious and make sure. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We do have 20. All right, so what fraction of the families have more than 2? So we know more than 2 cannot equal 0, cannot equal 1, and if it's more than 2, it cannot equal 2. It has to be 3 or 4. So how many dots do we have total here? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the total amount of families, which was 20. And then we simplify. 4/20ths simplified down. They can both be divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So this should be our answer. Is it an answer choice? It is 1/5. Let's check it. That one was pretty quick. I like those. And we're correct. Sweet. All right, next question. Question 5. Let me set it up on my page. One moment, please. Okay, so we have a pretty simple algebraic question here. It says if 5c minus 2 equals 3c, then 24c equals... So all we have to do is what I call BAMC. And that is pretty simple. If you followed any of my other videos, it is we box... Let's put our BAMC over here to help us remember. Okay, we box our variable. At this point, it is c. We need to know what c is to be able to apply it over here, right? So, excuse me. We're going to use this later, because right now we just need to get c on one side. So right now, I can't subtract c from this side. I mean, I can. I think it's just more work. So I'm going to go ahead and get my variables on the same side. And the way I do that is subtracting 5c. And I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So minus 5c over here. And I'm left with negative 2, because that follows, equals, that goes away, right? 3 minus 5 is a negative 2c. And then to get c by itself, right, at this point we are doing BAMC, we have to divide by the coefficient, which is negative 2. That makes that go away and c by itself, but then I do it to one side, I gotta do it to the other. So divide by negative 2, that makes it a 1. Negative divided by negative makes it a positive, right? So c is 1. Now, knowing that, that's helpful. I now substitute over here to get my answer. So if c is 1, what is 24c? Well, this one's super easy because anything times 1 is just itself. But to see it written out, we're going to substitute 24, but instead of c now, we're going to put 1 equals question mark. 24 times 1 is 24. Let's see if we're right. Answer 24. Correct. All right. Question 6 of 10. Ooh, we got a good one here. If the xy plane, in the xy plane, the slope of the line, let's get it ready. The slope of the line y equals mx minus 4. One moment, let's get it going. So y equals mx minus 4 is less, ooh, no, we're looking for m because we're looking for slope, right? The slope of the line is less than the slope, okay. So the slope of the line y equals mx minus 4 is less than the slope of the line y equals x minus 4. Okay. Which of the following must be true about m? Great question. So it's saying in this first one, we'll call it M1. How about that? M1 is less than M2. So what has to be true about M? Well, we know, even though it's not shown, the slope of the second equation is still here. But the invisible number, when we're multiplying things, just like we've seen in other examples already in previous questions, is 1, right? So even though it's not there, we know it's 1. So every time x moves up 1, it goes over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. So our slope is 1. So it's telling me it's asking me which of the following must be true about m. We have either m, different color. Let's choose a different color. Let's choose blue. We have either m is negative 1, m is 1, m is less than 1, or m is those are our options. What do you think it is? So for this situation, I would look at these guys, right? And we know that M1 is less than this, and we know that M2, this one, was invisible, so it's a 1. So M has to be less than, right? So M2 is 1. So M1, or M in this case, because I didn't get an M technically for M2. So M has to be less than 1. And that is an answer choice. Boop. It could be A, but it could also be other numbers. All we're given is the slope of this equation, the line y equals mx minus 4, is less than the slope y equals x minus 4. So it could be the first option, but it could be literally anything less than 1. So I'm going to go with that option. M is less than 1. And we get correct. Fantastic. Oh boy, this one is a tricky one. This one is, I've seen quite a bit. It is a cylinder. Let me set it up. One moment, please. This one is a doozy and considered across quite a few YouTube explanations to be the hardest question on the practice test here. It is a cylinder, and we are given this information. The formula for the volume of a right circular cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. If r equals 2b and h equals 5b plus 3, what is the volume of the cylinder in terms of b? What that means is we need to have b in our expression or our answer. We're not trying to solve a value for b. So this one comes down to what we already did before in a substitution, like system of equations kind of thing. We have the whole formula. We have r, we have h. We just need to plug them in. And I say just, it does get a little hairy here, but let's go for it. Okay? So we know V equals pi is going to stay there as pi. We're not going to change it to a number. It's going to stay as a symbol. But now instead of r, we're going to plug in 2b. We're going to substitute the value that they gave us for r right here. So pi times 2b, but we have to square 2b. So I'll make sure that gets squared. I'll put it over here, that's fine. And then times h, but h is now going to be substituted by this, 5b plus 3. So we're multiplying, right? All of this gets multiplied, so we're going to put a little multiplication dot, times, and then I'm going to put it in parentheses because it's one value, one entity, 5b plus 3. That looks nice. That's not an answer choice, so we're going to have to do a little bit of math here. So I'm going to leave that alone for a second because PEMDAS tells us, yeah, to work parentheses, but I can't do anything inside my parentheses yet. Then exponents. So I'm going to have to square 2b. So I have v equals pi, stays alone, but 2b squared would be, we need to square 2 and square b. So we have 4, because 2 squared is 4, and then b squared is just b squared. Then we multiply. We're going to keep writing it out because it's important. 5b plus 3. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is, because it's multiplication, all we're doing is this whole entity times this entity. So it's like a binomial kind of situation. So now we're going to use FOIL adjacent technique. If you're not familiar with FOIL, it's first, outer, inner, last when we're doing binomials. So here I'm going to apply pi 4b squared times 5b. I'm going to go down. So this whole thing times 5b, and then plus this whole thing times 3. So let's write that down here. So we have 5b times pi becomes nothing, because there's nothing that we can combine. So we have a number and a number. So 5 and 4 is 20. We're multiplying, right? I'm going to keep pi here for a second. And then I'm going to have 5 times 4 is 20. And then we have b. So we do have this b times b squared. So now we have b cubed. Okay? Then we're going to do this times 3. But we have to remember that plus sign because it's important. It states then this all times 3, but same thing. The only number I can use to multiply times 3 is that 4. So we're going to have pi, because it stays, it's in there, right? But then 4 and 3 multiplied is 12, b squared. We're getting closer. Forgot about this guy, so sorry. So now we're trying to figure out, is there anything I can combine? This is one entity. This is one entity. We have a plus sign in between. If it were multiplied, we could combine some stuff, but we don't have a multiplication right now. So this is how we're going to end it, because we can't combine b squared with b cubed. They're different animals. They're different entities. 20 is stuck to pi and b cubed, so we can't do anything with 12 and 20 because they are their own things. So now I'm going to look at my answer choices. My answer choices are, we've got 10 pi b squared plus 6 pi b. That looks nothing like my answer, so I'm going to say no. It's not A. B is 20 pi b cubed plus 12b squared. That looks dangerously close to my answer. Probably I'm going to put a star next to that one. C says 20 pi squared b cubed plus 12 pi squared b squared. Interesting. It does have some similar things, so I'm not going to cross it out just yet. And then D says 50 pi b cubed plus 20 pi b squared plus 90 pi b. No. That's just a big old no. So it's not A, it's not D, it's either B or C. Now, we have pi 20 b cubed. This is 20 pi b cubed. Please remember, when we're multiplying variables, it does not matter what order you put them in. 4 times 5 is the same as 5 times 4, right? So pi times 20 will be the same as 20 times pi. So if we rearranged our values here, it would be answer choice B, right? I'm going to use the same entities here. We have 20 pi b cubed. And same thing over here. They have it 12 pi b squared. I have pi 12 b squared. It doesn't matter. If it's multiplication and they're together like this, it doesn't matter the order. Make sure we have our plus sign, right? So if I put 12 pi, it's the same as pi 12, right? It's the same thing. So this answer is what we got. This one, no. Just no. Just no. Dun, dun, dun. And we're correct. Next question. Dun, 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 dun. All right, question 8 of 10 is, in the xy plane, what is the y-intercept of the graph of the equation y equals 6 times x minus 2? Oh my gosh, words. 6 times x minus 1/2 times x plus 3. So we're trying to find the y-intercept. That means when x is 0. What is y? So, let's figure it out. Dun, dun, dun. This is a simple, okay, I keep saying simple. I know, everything to me is simple. It's not really. So it's a substitution situation. We're going to substitute wherever x is, we're going to substitute 0. So we have one here and we have one here. So I'm going to rewrite, but now I'm going to substitute 0 wherever there's an x. 6 times 0 minus 1/2 times 0 plus 3. And then in order of operations, we know to do our parentheses first. So 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 minus 1/2 becomes negative 1/2. I know I'm working right to left, which is kind of weird. Sometimes your brain goes backwards. It's okay. So now it's a simple multiplication. I'm going to do 6 times negative 1/2. So that's it is an interesting phenomena because I'm working with a student right now who does things very differently from me, and that is wonderful because I don't think we should all be the same. But how I would do this is, I know half means just to divide by 2, right? So half of 6 is 6 divided by 2, which is 3, but I can't forget my negative. So positive divided by negative will still be a negative. 3 times 3. So now I know y equals negative times a positive will give me a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. My y-intercept is negative 9. And that is an answer choice. Let's see if we are correct. Dun, dun, dun. Correct. Good job. Ooh, we have a triangle. I love it. All right, the area of a triangle is 21. What is the value of x? Let me, you know what? Here, you can get set up with me. How about that? If I have it all in the right spot here. Let's go bloop, 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 bloop to give us some space and not waste paper. Question number 9. We've got a triangle, and it looks kind of like this, where this side is a little bit longer. We have boop, 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 boop. That's x. And then the leg down here is x plus 1. Now it's asking us telling us the area of the triangle above is 21. So we know area equals 21. What is the value of x? Okay. So, area of a triangle, formula here, is 1/2 the base times height. Or base times height divided by 2, same thing. Remember, fraction is just a division problem. So, we know area is 21. I'm going to start substituting in values I know. 1/2 is just a constant variable there. Coefficient, I guess, and we have base times height. So now I just plug things in. X plus 1 times height, which is x. And we start doing some algebra. So I can't do anything inside my parentheses yet because x and 1 are different things, right? Chickens and chocolate, we can't combine them. So we have first, I think I'm going to, weirdly, I know, I'm going to work from right to left. It doesn't matter. We're all multiplying, right? It's all the same. So I'm going to distribute my x this way. So x times x would get us an x squared. But notice how I'm still stacking it vertically in the right position. And then x times 1 is still positive, right? Positive times positive is just 1x, or x, right? But then we need to multiply it times 1/2, or divide by 2, same thing. And we'll have 21 equals that. What I could also do to make my life a little bit easier is get rid of this 1/2 to keep my variables on one side. And to undo a division problem, we just multiply by the reciprocal. So reciprocal would be 2/1, or 2. So I multiply this whole thing times 2. And that gets rid of that. And then we multiply one side, we've got to do the other, right? What we do to one side, we've got to do to the other. So times 2 would be 42 equals x squared plus x. And then we do a little bit of trigonometry. I don't think that's trigonometry. It's just algebra. We're just doing algebra. All right, x squared plus x equals 42. Bum, bum, bum. So we now have a situation where we've got to figure out x. This is going to deter a couple of you, and I hope you really don't stop watching to learn. We have to get 42 on this side. So to do that, we need to subtract 42 on both sides. 42 minus 42 will give us 0. 0 equals x squared plus x minus 42. This is a situation where we need to now find factor, I guess, the binomials, or create the binomials here. And it looks like I'm gonna need some more space. I'm gonna go this way, maybe. So again, if you've been with me for a little while, we did a quick lesson on binomials, but we're gonna do it super fast right now, just to show you how to solve for x here. So we have x squared plus x minus 42. So we need two factors, two parenthetical things to multiply together to equal this. Now, because we have x squared, positive x squared, these are both going to be x. Now, think of this as the FOIL method, but backwards. Or, yeah. So first, outer, inner, last, we would normally have these two and then distribute first, outer, inner, last to create this. But we're doing it backwards a little bit. So we know x squared is going to be x times x, so that helps us there. Now, if first outer is going to be x times something, so it's going to be something x, right? X times a value. I'm going to leave it blank right now. And then inner would be this unknown times x again. So we're going to have another situation where we have a value of unknown times x. And then last will be both of our unknowns, but it has to equal this. So this is where this comes in handy. So we're going to add these two numbers together to equal whatever this is, and we know the invisible coefficient has to equal 1. I'm get a different color so it's more obvious. So this has to equal 1. So when we add these two unknowns, it has to equal 1. when we multiply our unknowns, the same unknowns, they have to equal negative 42. So when we multiply them, it equals negative 42. So now I know any numbers that are factors of 42, I'm going to start either thinking of or listing. So I'm out of space over here. I'm going to write over here. So factors of 42. We have 1 and 42. We have 2 and 21. Then we have, immediately my brain skips over to 6 times 7. And I'm already thinking also when I add these numbers together, it has to equal 1, right? One of these numbers has to be negative to make this product a negative, because a positive times a negative equals a negative, right? So I'm thinking 6 times 7 will be our answer, because 7 minus 6 is 1. 7 times 6 is 42. So if our answer is 7 and negative 6, 7 and negative 6, right? 7 plus a negative 6 is 1. 7 times negative 6 is 42. And that would fit here. So we have x plus 7, x minus 6. So now that we know that, we know that x is either positive 7 or negative 6. Or, yeah, that's right. Sorry. Sorry. My brain. And if we solve for x, in this case, x is either negative 6 or positive, or negative 7 or positive 6. Now, this could be like an hour-long video if I go into this too much longer. Because a height or length cannot be negative, and by solving for x using these binomials, x equals negative 7 and x equals 6, it can't be the negative 7, so the value of x must be your positive 6. So if our answer is, do we have an answer? I'm sorry, going back to, where's our test? All right, we have answer choices of 3, 6, 7, or 11. It has to be 6. Are we right? Yeah, we're right. That one was a little bit trickier than I expected going into it. I was like, oh, it's just the area of a triangle. All right, question 10 of 10. This is our final one. Under ideal conditions, the population of a certain species doubles every 9 years. All right, immediately, I just need to write information down. So, new page. New page. All right, immediately my brain is seeing numbers and words. Okay, so the population doubles. Is that times 2? No. Yes. No. That would be squared. Okay, the population doubles every 9 years. Okay. Equals, hold on, every n years? You're just thinking right now. Population doubles every 9 years. I don't know yet, I need more information. So I'm also wanting to draw a table. So if we have population and years, we might be able to fill some stuff in. Okay. Oh, we do have more information. I just need to read more. Okay. If the population starts with 100 individuals, okay, so year 0, I might need to flip these around. That's going to bother me. Because this is X, this is Y. Hold on, let's fix that. Fixing my mistake. So we have years and population. So if we start at year 0 with 100 population, Okay, if the population starts with 100 individuals, which of the following expressions would give the population of the species T years? So we're going to use this as T years after the start, assuming that the population is living under ideal conditions. Okay. So we have some options. I want to share with you the choices we have because there are two I immediately want to get rid of. So our options for answers, I'm going to put on the left over here. We have 2 times 100 to the 9t. My marker pen is not working. So that's our first option. Then we have 2 times 100 to the t over 9 power. And then we have 100 times 2 to the 9t power. Or we have 100 times 2 to the t over n power. That's a 9 and that's an exponent. So, to me, 2 of these options are immediately wrong because we're not... I'm going to tell you right now, it's not A or B. My brain is saying it's not A or B. Right? Let my brain catch up. Okay, so I think I messed up here, and that's why I was not making it make sense. It's not p to the second power, it's 2 to the p power. So it's 2 to the p power because p... Okay, hold on. I'm getting it. I'm gonna have to write it out also examples because my brain just works that way. So after, what is this? At 0 years we have 100 people. Right. And then at 9 years, that doubles. So 100 times 2 would be 200. But then every 9 years, so 9, 18, 27, 36, right? So this number over here doubles, so p times 2, so 400 times 2, 800 times 2, 1600. So we have a quadratic function here. We have... Okay, so at the start, t is 0, right? And p is 100. After 9 years, population doubles. So it would be, okay, I need an equation. It would be 100 times 2, which gets us 200. But then we have 200 times 2, right? Okay, that's what I've been doing. Yes. Okay, so times 2 times 2 times 2. So we're going to use 9p. So 9p for population. Every 9 years, population is going to change. Population changes in 9 years. Right. Okay. But we also started with 100. That's important. Hold on. I'm thinking. I really don't think it's A or B. I really don't. Because we have this 100 times. See? 100 times 2. 100 times 2. It's got to be one of these guys. So where does this come in? Because it's important. Hold on. So after 9p years... we're going to increase, right, Since the number of years elapsing t is equal to 9p. Okay. T is equal to 9p. Right. It follows that p is equal, okay, we need to find p. So then we just divide by 9 on both sides. P is equal to t over 9. T over 9. So 2 to the p. 2 to the p. And then you plug in, okay, it's making sense now. 2 to the p, but instead of p, because p, okay, that was my brain in the beginning trying to figure things out, and I'm getting there. So p is t over 9, so the population is years elapsed divided by 9, because that's how many years are elapsing. Okay, good. So this now we're going to plug in here. So it's going to be 2, instead of p now, we're going to put t over 9 as an exponent times 100, which is this guy. It is. So it's going to be d. Whew, that one was tricky. Let's see if we're right. Dun 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 dun. Confirm. Hey, we got it right. Correct. I'm going to read this rationale to you. See if that makes any more sense for you guys. The correct answer is 100 times 2 to the t over 9 power. This is correct because at starting time t equals 0, the population is 100. Under ideal conditions, 9 years after, the population becomes 100 times 2, right? After 9 more years, the population will become 200 times 2, okay, equals 400, and so on. Hence, after 9p years, where p is a positive integer, the population of the species will be 100 times 2 to the p. 100, I didn't write that down, but I think I said it. 100 times 2 to the p. Since the number of years elapsed t is equal to 9p, right, because every time it goes by 9s, it follows that p, right, okay, that's what I figured out. It follows that that p is equal to t over 9, right? I did that. Therefore, t years after the start, the population of the species will be 100 times 2 to the t over 9. That one was hard, y'all, but we got it. And that's it for the practice math IQ Placer test. Whew! Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys.